Hi, this is Gene Trowbridge, and you found our YouTube channel. That's great. With the law firm Trowbridge Nay, we're securities lawyers, and this YouTube is version is called "Don't Call Them GPs and LPs," because if you do, more than likely today you're using the wrong terminology for the wrong offering that's out there in the marketplace. It's very common; people use those terms all the time, but simply it's wrong if you're talking about a limited liability company. So let's see what I have to say about that. First of all, who am I? I'm the founding partner of our firm. I was a syndicator for 20 years, a real estate broker, CCIM instructor, but at 45, I decided to go to law school and start my career as a syndication attorney working in the securities world. I have a book, the fourth edition, which you'll see about at the end of this broadcast. And I'm an old runner. I still try to run half marathons. I get older and I get slower. So the problem here is in an investment limited partnership, and let's say it's called investment LP. It's a limited partnership formed to buy a piece of real estate or to own a business. And because it's a limited partnership, the investors are called limited partners. The person in charge is called a general partner. That's because it's an LP. Limited partners are totally passive. They have very limited voting rights. They do have limited liability. They're only liable for the amount of money they put in this deal. The general partner has total control, but has total liability extending beyond just the assets in this offering. Literally, all of their assets are at risk. So in this limited partnership world, which was going very, very strong until the early 90s, very early 90s, the problem was if a deal had trouble, the limited partners, because they could not take place in management, and if they did, they'd lose their limited liability, had no ability to help. And the general partner, if a deal went bad, really took a financial hit. So we were coming at a point where there was a shortage of capital being raised because of the format of the limited partnership. So actually what happened is Wyoming started it to help their oil and gas and mineral business. They formed something, or they allowed to be formed something called an LLC. And now every state has LLCs. But in a limited liability company, according to the LLC law, the investors have different names because it's different. That's why it's different. In an LLC, the investors are called members. And a member isn't totally passive. A member can take a role in management through their votes, depending upon what the operating agreement says and how much control the manager wants to give the investors. But in any event, if something goes wrong, the investors can vote and can step in. They could replace the manager. They could change the operating agreement. They could do a number of things to help solve the problem, but you can't do that in a limited partnership. You have no ability to help solve the problem. So you probably want to be in an LLC to be a member, to make things work when things go bad and protect your limited liability. And as a manager, you want to have limited liability, so your losses, if any, are only limited to what's going on in this particular operation. So in our firm, which does an awful lot of securities business, we generally only write limited liability company documents. And so we only have members and we only have manager. Now, sometimes, it's happened to me a few times, a client of mine gets the draft of the documents that I send them to review, and they say, well, Gene, this isn't right because we're the limited partners and I'm the GP in this deal. Well, no, you're not. We're forming an LLC, and the investors are called members, and they have certain rights and limited liability. And you as a manager have certain rights, but we're going to give you limited liability. We formed an LLC. We formed it in Delaware. We formed it in California. We formed it in Texas, wherever. And in an LLC, the moving parts are members and manager. Actually, one client of mine called and said that one of his investors had read a document that we had prepared and was wondering why he wasn't an LP. Well, it wasn't a limited partnership. It's all very simple. If the document you're looking at, the investment you're thinking of doing, is in the form of an LLC, a limited liability company, the words you use are members and manager. Don't use LP and GP. Don't use limited partners and general partners, because that's just not what they are. I have a book that I'd like to see that you get a free copy of. It's called It's a Whole New Business. It's in its 4th edition. And it's a good book about a lot of things about syndication. And if you go to our website that you'll see on this slide, you can get a free PDF download of the book. And I think that would be great for you. I'd like to see you do that. While you're here on the YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe. And here's our contact information. You can contact me directly. There's a phone number. You can go to our website, and you're already on our YouTube channel. So I'll see you again on another YouTube video by our law firm, Trowbridge in May. Thank you.